How often have you talked about killing someone?
Oh, Lord.
No, seriously.
Some days I just wish he would get in an accident, die or something. There's a lot of things that could be done to make it look like
This is the time to tell the truth.
I am. This wasn't planned. This wasn't supposed to happen.
This is 30-year-old Victoria Woerth, sitting in a police interrogation room, calm, rehearsed, and confident. She believed she had just executed the perfect murder. She believed she had planned every detail so carefully that investigators would call it suicide. She believed she was moments away from inheriting her husband's car, his house, his insurance, and the future she felt she deserved. But what she didn't know was that her husband, Shane Woerth, had spoken before he died, and his final words would destroy her entire plan. Months before that interrogation room moment, Victoria had begun laying the groundwork for murder. She was unhappy, resentful, and convinced that life with Shane was holding her back. Friends would later say she seemed detached, cold, and oddly excited about the idea of becoming independent. She started Googling insurance payouts. She researched methods of staging suicide. She studied ways to make a death appear self-inflicted. And she told multiple people that Shane was depressed and unstable, planting the seeds long before any crime occurred. But the truth was the opposite. Shane wasn't depressed. He wasn't suicidal. He was a hardworking man who trusted his wife. He believed she loved him. And in the end, that belief cost him his life. On the night of the murder, the plan was already in place. Victoria knew exactly what she wanted to do. She waited until the moment was right, until Shane was vulnerable, until he was distracted, until she could get close enough. She brought out the weapon, one she had already chosen specifically because it would make the death look like something he did to himself. She attacked him with calculated force, striking him and staging the scene with precision. But something happened that she didn't expect. Shane didn't die immediately. Bleeding, terrified, and in shock, he made a desperate attempt to escape. He stumbled outside, collapsing on the ground, leaving behind a trail of blood and evidence Victoria didn't anticipate. Neighbors saw him. And most importantly, when emergency responders arrived, Shane was still alive, just barely. They asked him what happened. Shane used the last strength he had left to say the words that would unravel everything. "My wife hurt me." Those words traveled farther than Victoria ever imagined. They were documented, recorded, witnessed, and Shane died moments later. When detectives arrived, they already knew the death was not a suicide. They already knew the story Victoria would tell was a lie. But they let her talk anyway. They let her explain herself. They let her walk into the trap she had created. Inside the interrogation room, Victoria began her performance with confidence. She presented herself as a grieving widow. She kept her tone steady. She stuck to her script. She claimed Shane had mental health issues. She repeated, over and over again, that he must have taken his own life. She even pretended to cry, but her tears never fell. Detectives let her speak. Then they confronted her with the first piece of evidence. Shane's final words. Immediately, Victoria's mask cracked. Her breathing changed. She looked away. She suddenly needed clarifications. What exactly did he say? Who heard him? Are you sure he didn't mean something else? As if she could argue her way out of a dying man's truth, them investigators dropped the second piece of evidence. The blood trail. It showed movement, Shane crawling, stumbling, fighting to live. It wasn't consistent with suicide. It wasn't consistent with her story. It was consistent with someone running from an attacker. Again, Victoria's composure slipped. Her rehearsed lines dissolved. The longer the detectives pressed her, the more her confidence crumbled. She shifted blame. She claimed confusion. She contradicted her earlier statements. And in her panic, she created new lies that conflicted with the old ones. Next, detectives revealed the search history from her phone. The insurance details. The suicide staging methods. The exact keywords she had typed in the weeks leading up to the murder. And then came the final blow. Witnesses. People who heard her complain about Shane, talk about money, mention divorce. People who said she resented him. People who said she wanted out, not emotionally, but financially. The interrogation turned from questioning to dismantling. Piece by piece, her story fell apart. Piece by piece, detectives exposed the truths she worked so hard to hide. Victoria's confidence had been her greatest weapon during the planning of the murder. But inside that room, it became her downfall. Instead of denying everything, she tried to manipulate detectives, thinking she could outsmart them. Instead of showing fear, she acted like she was smarter. Instead of remaining silent, she talked, and every word she said tightened the rope around her own case. Investigators quickly realized she wasn't just guilty. She was arrogant, calculated, cold, and she didn't act alone. Digital communications revealed conversations between Victoria and people in her circle, individuals who encouraged her, who enabled her, who helped her set the stage for Shane's death. She had confided in them, bragged to them, even tested her suicide narrative on them. And when those people were questioned, they did what most criminals eventually do: they turned on each other. Within months, the investigation widened. More people were charged, more lies were exposed, more details came to light. Victoria's perfectly crafted image of the grieving widow collapsed completely. The jury didn't see a heartbroken wife, they saw a manipulator who murdered her husband for profit. In the end, Victoria didn't get the house. She didn't get the car. She didn't get the insurance. She didn't get the future she imagined. What she got was a prison sentence. Shane's final act had saved the case. His last words ensured justice. His refusal to die silently exposed everything Victoria tried to bury. This video was created for educational and documentary purposes, presenting real police investigations, verified case details, and factual information to promote transparency, public awareness, and understanding of criminal behavior. Every detail of this story is sourced from official reports, interrogations, and legal documentation. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our next upload. Until then, stay safe, stay vigilant.